Empiricism is rooted in experience, but 99% of people are outsourcing experience to institutions. Their knowledge is rooted in trust. What do we do when the trust is gone?
You know, The Matrix is a compromised film because it was generated in part as an artistic expression and in part as an exploitation of a market opportunity. But it does have a lot of elements in it that are useful. The idea that one does not unplug somebody from the Matrix after a certain age because they can't handle it is resonant. There's a degree to which you can get pretty far, especially in a system that's humming along, a highly productive system. If you place your trust in things that, rule of thumb seem to work, you can go a lifetime that way if you're lucky, if you live in the right era.
And the more complex the system, the more you have to do that de facto for some number of things, or else you're just mired in decision paralysis.
Right. Exactly. It's very hard when you're navigating everything a la carte, but
Right.
if in the 50s, if you signed up with the right company, it might be a good deal, it might be a bad deal, but the chances that it was going to carry you through your career and put a roof over your head and pay for your medical care and all of that was pretty high.
Yeah.
What we've got now is a system in which trust is almost always misplaced in institutions because all of the institutions have been captured and corrupted. And so in some sense, we are watching a population lash about as a response to the fact that its trust is constantly being breached, right? It's being told otherwise. It's being told that you're being taken care of and that those people are the enemy. But in fact, what people are discovering is you can't trust any of this stuff because the system is rigged in favor of things that not only aren't about you, but they're also not wise. They don't protect these structures. They don't protect the things that keep us safe. They can, in fact, steer us directly into danger. So the basic problem is people are beginning to discover that their trust has been misplaced. They don't know what to do with the fact that they need to trust something, and many do not have the tools to substitute for institutions that are trustworthy. First principle reasoning sounds great, but most people don't. It's not something you can start late in life, right? And even people who are good at it within a particular realm are often not good at it across a wide breadth of topics. So, we've got a problem, and really, if we're to get through this, the key is going to be replacing those institutions with something that can be trusted. And we're late in starting that project.
Yeah, we are late. But it's only getting later.
Yes, it's later than we think.
Which federal government institutions do you believe are captured and no longer functioning? I would put the CDC, FDA, and FBI at the top of the list. Much love for you guys.
I'm trying to think of the ones that are meaningfully not captured.
Yeah, I think that's going to be it's going to be a shorter list, unfortunately. Well, and I guess that's not entirely fair necessarily. Captured and no longer functioning is definitely an overlapping categorization scheme, but it's not totally overlapping. Those are two different things. Captured means inherently no longer functioning with the goal that it was established to do, but no longer functioning can happen a number of different ways beyond being captured. What does work? What federal government institutions are working at this point? Well, the post office had a rough time of it there, but it seems to be kind of functional.
Yeah, I mean, we've been making this point for decades now. But the post office, as bad as it is an amazingly functional system. Yeah. The fact that I don't exactly know what the price of a stamp is these days.
Given that they don't have the numbers on them anymore, I don't either, but I don't know, 49 cents? Something.
Right, but for something less than $1, the fact that you can get a document across the country in a couple of days,
it's incredible.
Is incredible.
Yeah, it's totally incredible.
And the attack that is always leveled against it, that it's not profitable, it's not supposed to be.
Yeah.
The military is also not profitable, right? Lots of things aren't supposed to be. That's not their purpose.
Right.
I guess because it looks like a business, because you walk through a door, you interact with somebody who seems like a retail employee in some ways, and they may charge you for a service. It feels like a business, but
it's not that. Whereas, I'm thinking of like the NSF, the NIH, the NEA, which is different, but in the same vein. The National Endowment for the Arts, the National Institutes for Health, and its sub things, and National Science Foundation all seem pretty broken. I know the least about the NEA at this point. There was a while there where I was actively thinking about them. It's been years, but they seem to be broken by some different captures. But the NSF and NIH are just it's market forces and perverse incentives all the way down.
Yeah, and I think what you hear is us struggling with the fact that we pretty much know the answer to the question is the whole thing has been captured. And for different purposes, some of them I think truly nefarious, some of them mundane, but the basic point is, because we weren't minding the store, and because there's a tremendous amount at stake in any federal project, at least from the point of view of simple, the profit that can be made by simply corrupting an institution, pretty much the whole thing has been captured.
This is not an answer to the question, but one thing that it occurs to me is I'm remembering when we were living in Washington and teaching at Evergreen, we often had students who either went into either summer internships or after graduating went into jobs with the state, in part. Olympia, which is where Evergreen was, is also the state capital. It's not a word.
No, it's not a thing.
It's not even a thing. No, but it's also the state capital, and therefore where the various state agencies are. And given what I was tending to teach, anyway, I had a lot of students, sort of, eco-crunchy students, students interested in being in wilderness, preserving wildness, preserving habitat. And it would have seemed like, okay, well, they're probably going to go into the Department of Fish and Wildlife or the DOE, Department of Ecology, and for reasons having to do with, mostly I think not capture, and mostly not even bureaucratic incompetence, although there's certainly some of that everywhere there's bureaucracy. Some of the really most interesting work on preserving wildlands and doing mitigation stuff was in the DOT, the state DOT, the Department of Transportation. And so you had these, really capable and amazing scientists working with the Department of Transportation, and a lot of the work going on at the Department of Ecology was of no interest whatsoever. And so, this always struck me as sort of, unfortunately, a perfect version of, you don't know where you might land that you could end up doing powerful and important work, and unfortunately the constraints of the system that you're in are going to be big in deciding that. And so the name over the door doesn't tell you much.
All right, I'm going to eat these words.
Okay. Will they satisfy you when you do?
No,
not nutritious.
I will not enjoy eating them. The FAA. I'm going to say, if something stands a really good chance of not having been captured, it's going to be the FAA, and the reason is because
planes aren't
falling out of the sky. Now, it may be that it's captured, and that the thing that captured it has an interest in planes not falling out of the sky. Don't know, but
or the reveal on it being captured would be so obvious and so immediate that,
although obviousness does not,
the core competency just has to remain.
Right, has to remain.
Okay, yeah, no, I think this could be fun. To work on. I feel like there's got to be more, and we're missing it. And hopefully, the people who work in those places and others who don't will write in or something and tell us what parts of the federal government or state governments are truly functional.
So I think the era in which we recapture government, and it again serves the interest of the public, should be heralded by the change of the name of the Department of Fish and Wildlife to the Department of Fish and Other Wildlife. I would take that as a very positive sign that adults had again taken charge, adults who had maybe taken some biology, paid attention.
I actually don't even, I've sort of given up on that one. It's when people invoke animals and birds.
Birds,
that really gets under my skin.
Yeah, no, totally.
But luckily there's no federal Department of Animals and Birds.
Yet.
Yeah.
Yes, right.
Yeah, okay. You're definitely not doing what most people want us to do now.
No, we are. causing trouble.
That's. I think people do kind of want us to do that, but we don't cause trouble for the sake of causing trouble, do we? No.
No. We have long argued for full wildlife status of fish.
And full animal status of birds.
Right. And for the full fish status of tetrapods. So anyway, that tells you who you're dealing with.
Yeah. Interested in truth, even at the expense of comprehensibility.
Right.
There it is.
Right.